downstairs who actually do the placing.
Okay.
They brought me in to set up some computer systems and design some of these types of things, and not really at that point to talk with the client directly.
Okay. You're the technical expert, right?
Right, and that's why they think it would be better for me to make these calls.
They don't know how to explain it, do they?
Right.
Do you know something? If you're clever enough, you can create a package, and we can get some bullet points together of how to sell this package so that the other girls can sell it too.
That's what we would like to do at some point. I think you already met Karen and Loretta.
Absolutely.
They're our two main marketing people.
Mm-hmm.
And the two counselors that actually do the placing are the ones that talk to them regularly, and they're going to try and stick in a word here and there too.
Okay, fine. Fine. And it needs to be a very focused word or two. It needs to be very focused. And if you're the person whose department this is, you want to make sure that there's quality control even in terms of how you're selling it.
Right.
You want to represent it appropriately and thoroughly and make sure that you're going to absolutely deliver on what it is that they're quoting. Now, the point about wondering if you had a relationship with them, you don't, but the other girls do.
Right.
Find out whatever you can of a personal nature from the other girls, so that you can bring that in, so that the person on the other end of the call who you're selling to has a sense, oh, well, I don't know her, but she seems to know who I am.
Make them feel important.
Absolutely. It's going to really help a lot. Really help a lot. How are you on the phone?
I'm a lot better on the phone than I am in person.
Okay. Why do you assess it that way? How is it that you assess that?
Because I can be very demonstrative in my manner on the phone.
Great.
And when I see someone, I can make eye contact, but I try a lot harder to pick my words and to impress them. And I sometimes, like I am now, I sometimes get lost in that. I'm trying too hard to do that. On the phone, I can look at a point and concentrate on that point and just keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I can even feel the difference when you do that right now. You know what I'd love to do in this session is not only get the points clear, but pull you into more of your style on the telephone when we're in person. Get you enthused and talking to the point right when you're talking to me as well. Okay? Because I think it's only going to help you. Tell me about what computerized digesting is. Good heavens. Still and yet something else in the marketplace that I'm supposed to know about that I don't know anything about.
Okay.
Why should I know about this?
Am I supposed to consider you to be someone of some legal knowledge?
Consider me to be someone that might indeed buy your service, and perhaps I am not as savvy as you might hope.
Okay.
Okay, so make sure that you cover all the bases. Perhaps you probably know this. Of course you know this information already, but let me just include it in what I'm telling you and how this fits into your already existing package. Okay? Because sometimes that kind of clarification can help somebody that even knows what's going on. Let me ask you a question directly. First of all, what is computerized digesting?
Okay, first, it'd probably be easiest for you to understand if you knew what a digest was. Are you familiar with what a deposition is when you have legal action?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, we do quite a lot of deposition work here.
Okay. A deposition, or its court version or court transcript, is a document that attorneys cannot read entirely. So what they do is they like to have it summarized into a few manageable pages. And
okay, can they not legally read it entirely?
They can, it's just the time element. It may be a 200-page document, and they may have 20 to 200 depositions to read and to prepare for their trial.
So you can include in that, deposition by definition is much too cumbersome to handle.
That sounds good.
Right? It's cumbersome with the definition, with the deposition. It is too, isn't it? It's the most cumbersome. I mean, you've got paper from one end of the block to the other end of the block.
Okay. And they also may be reading text that isn't important for whatever the issues that they're looking for. So what they like to have is a digest, which is what it sounds like. The material is absorbed and digested into a smaller version. It's also called a summary. So what that means is a paralegal, for the most part, will sit down, read the deposition, and digest it and put it in a format. It usually is categorized by 3 columns. It can be a lot of different ways, but the standard is 3 columns, with one being the pages that they read.
Right.
The second being a topic idea or topic ideas, just a couple. And then the last one being a paragraph of some sort describing what was in that group of text. So say someone read pages 4 through 10. They would put page 4 through 10, describe what the topic was. It could be background information. It could be contract negotiations. And then they will go into a paragraph and try and summarize what they read. So you might have started with a 200-page deposition and you'll end up with a 12 to 15-page digest.
Okay, good. Now tell me something. Is there a program that exists that can do that without the legal assistant?
Not that lawyers will trust. Not
Really?
for the most part.
Because too many things don't fit.
I think mostly because they want to have someone reading the text who has some kind of legal background. So that they know what they're looking for. They may be able to understand what's important.
Okay. Now, if we were starting this call again, first of all, you're offering this service, right?
Right.
What's the most important thing I know about this service?
That it's fast.
Thank you. What's the second?
That the product that you will get is high quality.
Right. What's the third?
That we take into consideration the confidentiality.
Thank you. Thank you. Right?
Right.
We're fast. Give me the 3.
Fast.
Right?
That you'll get a very good product.
Okay. It's quality product. It's quick, and it's confidential.
Right. Another very important point that I know the attorneys will be looking for is that the people doing the digesting are high quality themselves, not just the product.
Okay. It's a quality product performed by quality people.
Right. But that's such a clip phrase that, and it's overused these days, that they aren't going to just listen. So what?
So what does that mean to
Right.
me? What are you talking about? Right. Okay. It's quick. I also think because it's quick that you need to add to that. It's done in-house. It's done on the premises, which ensures even further confidentiality.
Exactly.
There is somebody overseeing it all the time.
That's really important because there is one other service in New York, and their people are either located in their homes or they're out in Washington in their homes, and the stuff is shipped in.
Makes a difference, doesn't it? What were you doing before?
Before I was working with Legal Assistance,
Yeah.
I was a paralegal for 8 years at different law firms and corporations.
What's your background to be a paralegal?
I went to college at Ball State University and I graduated in '82 with a major in legal administration, and followed that through several different jobs in the paralegal field.
So you like having been a paralegal?
Do you want me to answer you as if you're a client, or?
I want you to answer me
For-
straight, because nobody sees this. This is your take.
For the first couple of years, it was interesting. After that, it got to be the same thing over and over, and I didn't feel challenged anymore.
Okay.
And another problem is that attorneys only let you do so much, and I had so much more to give, and I just wasn't able to channel that anymore.
Yeah. Did you ever want to take it further and practice law yourself?
I think probably the first few years I thought about it. I played with the idea, but the more I got involved, the more I realized that's not what I wanted at all.
Uh-huh. Isn't that interesting? Okay. And when you see this tape back, you're going to notice that when you said, do you want me to tell you how I really feel, or do you want me to tell you if you're a customer? As soon as you said how you really feel, you dropped a certain amount of presenting it the way you think I want to see it in some way. Listen, forget it the way you think I want to see it. What I want to get is you. I want to get, I want to feel as if you're talking to me, you're dealing with me straight.
What came to my mind was that if you were a client and you asked me a question like that, if I gave you an honest answer, you may not think that I'm enthused about the business in general.
Absolutely.
And our business is placing temporary paralegals.
Right.
So how can I say that being a paralegal is nice for a while, but it's not something that I
No,
want to
you
do
can't.
for the rest of my life?
You can't. But in the context of this working session, I'm just drawing that to your attention.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do, in addition to getting these points together, is to really begin to draw you out and develop your style, because I guarantee, though you're going to be doing a lot of these calls on the phone, your presence doing these sales calls and repping this whole area, representing it, as a forerunner in the field, really,
Oh, definitely.
is going to be very important. So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to get off the phone and get out in front of the people and really challenge yourself in that area. And you'll be quite good at it. And what I want to do is encourage you to get more comfortable with it. You know, that's also why we're doing this. All right? So if indeed you do a very quality product done by quality people, and you're going to be explaining that in the way that you do. It's quick, it's on the premises, it's quick, meaning that you also have a 24-hour service, do you not?
I think a lot of our clients will beg off of that, but the fact that we do have that available in case they need it quickly in their trials next week, it's offered. It's at a higher rate, but it's offered.
They'll beg off because it is at a higher rate, you mean?
I think so, because for the most part, they start preparing a couple of months in advance. The only time that that would come into play, which it actually did when we were doing our example work to try and get some data to figure out how much this should cost, the client has a trial that's going on now, but they still found out people that need to be deposed. So they had the deposition taken, and as the deposition was being taken, the court reporter's transcript was being deciphered, and then as soon as it was deciphered, it was sent to us because they needed it the next morning. Now that does happen, but it doesn't happen that often.
I got
At least we can tell them that that's available.
I would, honestly, I see so many businesses operate in a state of emergency, you know, and I guess the legal profession
It does a lot of that.
does it.
Mhm.
God, I see so much business operating that way.
And especially litigation, because everything is all of a sudden, they find out a new issue that they have to research and they have to take care of it.
Right, right. Who developed this idea?
The idea, it was really a culmination between Lynn and I. I had actually approached her back in October and discussed the possibility of legal assistance getting involved in computerized services. And the reason for that was because I had a child and I was looking for a new job, and I knew that this was something that was really exciting. I also thought of all the different companies here in New York that, the placement agencies, because I knew that their clientele would be a perfect base. But I didn't really think of anyone other than legal assistants because Lynn is involved in training, and she really cares about her people, and that reputation gets around. So I knew it would be something that she more than anyone else would be able to handle properly. So I approached her through a friend of mine who worked there, and over the months she had done some research, and then a few months later we got together and discussed the nitty-gritties, and she said that she would like to focus on doing a computer department, but still getting our foot in the door with the digesting. So it was kind of both of our ideas. We both came up with it on separate fields and then came together.
Good, good. When you go into to discussing this, you made some notes. Do you always make notes on a long legal pad? Is that appropriate?
You mean when I'm going in to see a client?
Yeah.
I usually take some kind of a pad with me.
Yeah. Fine. I mean, I don't know. Some people really use large index cards. Some people use the pad.
I would prefer not to use a legal pad. It's just so large. I usually use a smaller one.
Fine. Notes are appropriate. Anytime. You know, you don't want to get lost. You want to make sure that your agenda is included. Okay, it's on the premises, so it's confidential. What else besides quality product and quality people? It's quick, 24-hour service, and it's done on the premises to really ensure confidentiality. You're very aware of confidentiality. Anything else included in the first shot?
No, those are the main things. There are a lot of other things, but those are the main things.
Okay, what of those is the most important?
A couple of them are probably equal. Actually, they're probably all equally important because the client's interested in confidentiality. He's interested in who's doing his work. He's interested in a fast product because of the type of business it is. And he wants it to be quality. All those things are equally important.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. I understand what you're trying to say. But see, I feel like I'm not going to be asked questions like that. I'm going to be more presenting it.
Right, and we're going to go back and have you present it. But the only way we can really, the way we can really efficiently process this, and for you to own it, you don't feel like somebody's putting a script in your hands. This is your script. I don't know anything about it. You know, it's just to process through it this way, so that you're really comfortable in thinking about it in a very organized fashion. You're an organized thinker, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you're a computer expert. That's an area of expertise for you. If I am buying this product and I don't know very much about computers, what do I need to know?
That's a good question. The only thing I could say is that because it's on a computer, it can be printed immediately, and we are able to take the same information and put it in any format you want with a phone call. We don't have to have it all typed. So the information is able to be manipulated. But other than that, the reason we do it in computer is because we are able to print it immediately.
Okay.
And do checks like spelling and things immediately.
Okay. The thing that concerns me about the computer is that I hear these horror stories of people accessing a computer. How do I know that my information is going to really be confidential?
Because as soon as we're done digesting, we put it on a disk, and we put the disk in a locked, secure area.
Okay, where is that area?
It's in our office in the same location. It's in our premises.
Okay.
And we
Tell me your premises again.
It's on the 21st floor of the same building that Legal Assistance is located in. It's just a computer room with some additional filing cabinets for that purpose. And we will retain the information for 60 days and then discard it. Discard's not a real good word. We'll delete it. And unless the client wants us to retain it or they prefer we get rid of it earlier.
Okay, is there any way that I could get that information and keep it in my files if I wanted to have it?
Well, not unless I transferred it into an ASCII disk. Otherwise, you'd have to have the same software and you'd have to have the same database set up, and you would have to be able to know all of the field names so that you could incorporate it. You can take the information and have it put in ASCII, which is just a language, like we're speaking English. This is ASCII. And ASCII is read by almost 100% of all computers.
Okay.
And so if I put it in an ASCII disk, it takes out all the codes and all the things that I identified as set it up in that software.
Okay.
And then they can put it in their software, but I would have to do that first, and we don't do that unless they ask us to.
Okay, you'd have to do that before you even started the process.
Right.
So that, you know what? I think that somewhere along the line, early, before you sign the paper, you really need to mention that.
Okay.
Is it feasible, and would it come up very often, that someone might want to retain that deposition information for their records, because sometimes...
Possibly. I think some of the larger firms might, if they have a large case, they know they're going to have a lot of depositions, and they just don't want to mess with it there. It could also work in reverse. It could work where they want a disk of it, but they don't want us to retain it. And then I would make them an ASCII disk, and they could pull it out of their word processing system and look at it again.
Right. How much is it going to cost them to get a disk?
Nothing. We're giving it to them for free.
Okay. The disk on their format or on your format?
If they want us to format it for their database, then we'll have to discuss that separately, because it depends on what kind of a database they have.
Okay.
But if they just want to pull it up in any word processing system, it's free.
Okay. See, that's something I want you to start thinking about, and that is the finished product, how it's going to be the most convenient for the people that you're selling to. What are they looking for? They're looking that it's a quality product. They want to know it's safe for the people, it's quick, all of that stuff. They also want to know that they can have that format for their information. They can store it there. You will hang on to it for 6 months unless you're instructed initially. Right?
Right.
It's very important, because it could happen that you could destroy some information that somebody might come along and say, we need that.
Well, we plan to have a list of questions that we ask them every time they call and have a deposition or a court transcript digested. Like what format style do you like? Give us a little background on the case. Would you like us to retain this longer? Do you need a disk? Things like that.
Okay, have you done the questionnaire yet, or have you done it's almost an order form, isn't it, Barbara?
It will be, yes. Except some things will be flexible. A lot of attorneys have certain styles they like to have followed when someone's doing a digest. Some attorneys like complete sentences, some attorneys like bullets. Everyone has their own quirks. So I'm just going to ask a general question, and they'll be able to tell me a long answer about how they would like it set up.
What if you gave them 3 choices? Ron?
We've already done that as far as the formats, but the thing is, they can choose one of those, and the reason I would like to set those up is so that they don't have to think if they don't want to.
Right.
But I don't want them to think that's the only choice that they have, and if they don't like those, then we aren't going to be able to accommodate.
Right, right. But it's most likely that most of the work could fit into those three categories quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Same thing with the format. The copy that I gave you is a typical example of how one would look as far as the way it's set out, the columns. Now the fancy print and all of that is our own design. But there are other ways to set up depositions, but that's the standard. So we'll have 3 or 4 standard formats like that one. But then if they have a special one that they have to conform with policy or something, it's very easy for us to set it up differently.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Well, I know there's another service. We're back on the sales call. I know there's another service available to me. I'm sure you're aware of that. Why should I use you? They're in existence. You're new.
I can give you a couple of excellent reasons.
Okay.
The first is that our cost is a little bit different. Our product is a lot more pleasing to the eye, and it's done a lot quicker. We are set up in a database. This is where I'm afraid that they're not going to be able to understand, because we are set up in a database. Every other one in the country, and there's only about 4, are set up in word processing. And I purposely chose not to do that because the digesters are good digesters, but they may not be good word processors or typists.
I understand.
So I set it up so that they would be able to fill out, in this case, those 3 categories, and that's all they would have to worry about. They wouldn't have to worry about where the information was placed or how it might look on the page. That's all set up differently. And then you take that information and you export it into a report. But that's how ours is different than theirs, that we are in a database and they're just in word processing. And then our product is beautiful. Their product is very, very flat.
Okay. I want you to bring in then, if indeed you can, when you make a sales call, an example of your competition's product and of your product.
Is that ethical?
I don't know, is it? I would like to see you bring in a copy of your product. I would like you to have a comparative something. You don't have to offer it if you're uncomfortable about that.
Well, we have some comparative products, but they were provided to us by some of our clients and other sources, and I don't know
that you would want to share that.
Right, because it may not, I mean, really, it's not confidential information. There's nothing wrong with us having it, but there's such fierce competition that people may think, how did they get that?
And are they going to show somebody else my deposition here as a good example? Okay, so stay away from that if that's something you're uncomfortable with. I want you to be armed. I want you to be armed with what you're telling them, what is going to make sense. I mean, when you give me the basic differentiation about your service and the service that perhaps I'm accustomed to, I may not understand. I need to know in very tangible terms what that means to me. That means that I'm going to get a much more quality product, right?
Well, and our digesters are done in-house, and everyone else's are done in their homes.
They're jobbed out.
Right.
Yeah. Hey.
We have complete control over what's happening.
Okay, that is key. We have complete control over this process. The digesting is done in-house. It's done on our premises. Nobody is carrying any of that information home with them on the train, or anywhere else for that matter. Confidentiality is a big area, is it not?
We're actually the only firm in the country offering a service where it is done on the premises because of the cost. And the same thing with the product. There's all the other ones are done in a word processing system, and ours is done in a database.
Thank you. Yours is the only firm offering this.
Right.
We're the first to offer this. We are the first to offer this service.
I'm excited about that.
There you go. Well, I want to hear that you're excited. Okay? It's okay to be excited. And I understand that in the field that you're in, a tremendous amount of histrionics about it are not necessarily going to be the most effective communicator. But it's okay to be excited. You are genuinely excited about it. And when you get excited about it, what I want to feel as much as anything, Barbara, is I want your vocal vitality to I want it beefed up a little bit. You know, because what I'm hearing is I'm hearing you talk like this. And it's very even, and it's very organized. But you know, when you really get excited about it, it makes a difference, and it changes. It begins to change. You know? All right, let me make sure that it's still running. Okay, good. All right, now you've told me about how this process works, but what I'd like to know is, you say that some really good people, some really quality people, we use the word quality people. What can we find besides quality people? Quality work, top people, trained people. What's
no, they're definitely trained.
Okay, well-trained, well-screened and trained people. I know that, right? Include that. They're selected specifically. They're screened, and they're trained, and they're selected specifically to work on these projects. Because are you overseeing it?
Yes.
Okay, you can offer them that you personally oversee this work.
That's true. And I personally selected all the people that are going to be working with me.
Fabulous.
I love your facial expressions. I can always tell when you're trying to show me that was what you wanted to hear.
Right. It's like I wear it out here on my sleeve, right? Yeah, yeah. But you see, because I'm a novice, and what I'm wanting to do over here is get excited about this and buy it for my company. But I'm a novice over here, so something that begins to make sense to me, say, okay, now that makes some sense. You personally are involved with this, aren't you? Okay. How do you select somebody that you know is going to be right for you?
Well, first I look through our list of digesters and find out which ones have been working for a while, what their speed is, what kind of comments our clients have made about them. And then I bring them in and I talk with them and I ask them about their experience level, if they feel comfortable doing this kind of work, if they are excited as I am about this work. And then I sit them down and I show them how it's set up and I let them play with it a little bit to see if they are going to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, if they take to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people can do digest, but they just are a little bit shy with computers. And they are very uncomfortable about trying to learn how to use one. So they almost want to beg away because they don't want to have to deal with it.
Right.
But if I show them how easy it is and I set it up so that it would be easy, then they realize that it's no problem at all. It's actually a lot more fun. And I'll set up the colors different. I'll set them up any way they want just so that they feel like that's their own personal computer for that period of time. And then if they like it, then I make notes about that.
Yeah. How did you get involved in depositions specifically?
Well, because that's what the service Lynn wanted to offer first, because it's something that all law firms do, and that's a foot in the door. And once we get involved with that in a computerized way, then we're going to let our clients feel our way through what we want to do next. Because there are a lot of computer services out there. Some are geared specifically towards the local community, and others are any kind of business, including legal community. So we could offer everything they offer. I could help them do all of that. But why should we? It doesn't mean that they're going to choose us. There are a lot of big companies out there.
Right.
So let the client tell us what they would like us to do for them next. But at least we can get in the door with this and they can see how good we do.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, could you do this for us? Could you do that for us? And we'll say, sure can.
Yeah. And I think really I was more specifically asking how you personally moved into this area of deposition to have that be a specialty area for you.
Well, it's not really a specialty area for me. I've done a lot of it, and so I knew what we would need to.
Why do you like it?
About deposition?
Yeah. Why are you drawn there?
Well, that's what's funny. I'm not really drawn there, but if you want me to say I am, I can.
Oh, you're not.
No.
It's just something that you really can handle, and you have also.
I'm drawn to the computer aspect of legal.
Oh, I see. I see.
I love the computer aspect.
Can the computer aspect apply to many other areas of the legal business?
It could, but I think that they usually focus in the litigation area because it's there's the need. Anything can be computerized. Anything can be set up so that you can search it. But the need is there for litigation because there's so much information and they have to keep track of it.
Now, when you went in to become a paralegal, did you get involved immediately with computers?
No, I just kind of fell into it by chance.
Wow.
I worked for a corporation in Chicago, the Travelers, and I worked in their real estate investment division, and we had 17 states that we had to deal with. We had to deal with our people at each of the 17 states, our local councils at each of the 17 states, our home office, the other regional offices, parts of Canada, and everyone was telling everyone something else.
Yeah.
So I had just heard that the legal community was getting computerized, and I thought, well, let me check into this. So I did a little research, read a few magazines, and came up with some proposals and said, I think that this would help us out a lot. It would link all of us, but we would be the only one able to change the information. All the people in our firm, no matter where they were located, could access it and then just not change it.
Right.
We would be able to update it a lot quicker, and I think long term it would help us a lot. And we had to go through about 9 months of getting approval, going back and forth and giving them more information, and we finally got it approved. And from that point, and from what I learned through that experience, I wanted to computerize everything.
Isn't that exciting? So that this computer work is very exciting to you.
Yeah, it is.
See, that's great. I want you to be able to bring that excitement and apply it to this, because it is exciting.
It's exciting because I can always learn something new. That's why I like it. It's not something that you're stuck in and then you do the same repetitive task over and over.
Right.
You can always learn more and do more and find out, because software is changing all the time.
Yes.
And there's graphics and there's word processing and there's databases and spreadsheet software. But the amount of information that you're accessible to is unlimited. So I can always grow, and that's exciting.
That's because you like that change. You like that growth. Where did you live in Chicago?
I know, Park.
Because I grew up in Northbrook.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not really sure.
Up north. Oak Park
It's
is
kind of west.
Yeah, slightly west. Yeah. How long were you there?
A little over 2 years, and I really loved it there.
And were you married there, or you were married?
I'm married here.
And you just had a baby?
Mm-hmm.
How long? How old?
It's 13 months.
Oh boy, it's a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that? How is that adjustment for you?
Well, it's fine now, but I basically lost my last job over it because the attorney was a little bit perturbed that I wasn't going to be able to spend as much time working
That you
as
had.
I could before. And because I worked very long hours, and I did everything to make his life easy, and he didn't like it. So we parted ways, and I spent some time really thinking about what I wanted to do next, because I did not want to have just another paralegal job. I didn't want to be confined like that again.
I bet you worked your tail off.
Yeah, I did. Very long hours in litigation. But I've done every kind of law. It's just litigation is what I started with here in New York. But I wanted something different, and I felt like I'd proved myself enough. I just wanted to look for the right opportunity, and it didn't come to me. I had to find it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Will you brush your bangs back a little bit? I just want to see something. I want you to brush them back a little bit, or to the side. I want to see a little bit more of your forehead. Have you ever done that, or do you always wear bangs?
Well, my hair's real thin, and it's kind of...
It is?
Yeah.
God, it looks like you have a rug.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very thin. The pieces of it are thin, and it's kind of misty, so it just falls. But when I curl it, it looks a lot different.
No, it looks very thick up here. I just wanted to see, because sometimes when it's too heavy a brush at the line of your glasses, it almost feels like you're hiding. Because we have the same very fine hair. So, make sure that it's away a little bit, because, I don't want to have somebody think, oh, she's hidden in there. She's shrouded in anything.
That's one reason I pull it back, because I know that when you have your hair hanging like this, it has a tendency to make people think that you're hiding.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let me stop this. Let's look at a little of this.
I'm not sure I want to do this.
Sure you do. Tell me about this computerized digesting. What is this? Tell me about it.
Oh, it is a terrific new service.
Okay.
Well, what we do is we take a deposition and we bring it into our office. Everything is on site. And we have some of our really expertly trained people, which I've trained, by the way, and they sit down and they digest it directly to the computer. So when they're done digesting, we're ready to print.
Okay. No, wait a second. Where do you do this?
In our facilities.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do it on site in our facilities. We have a computer room.
Oh, isn't
Everything
that
is right
exciting?
there. Yeah, and the product is wonderful, as you can see from what I brought you.
Yeah, it does look good. What about the cost, though? I mean, aren't you a little bit more expensive?
Actually, we're less expensive than some of the other services, and there aren't very many of those around, by the way, and none of them do it the way we do. But we're less expensive than if you did it in-house. And I've provided you a savings chart, which we'll break it down in figures for you. But basically what it means is by the time that you pay your paralegal, your word processor, your proofreader to go through 2 or 3 drafts, you've already exceeded what we do, and we do it faster for you.
I gotcha.
In one step.
What else should I know about your service? It's 24 hours.
Yeah, we can do work for you in 24 hours.
Okay.
No problem whatsoever, because like I said, as soon as they've digested it, it's ready to print. If you have a 200-page document and somebody can digest 15 pages an hour, which is the pretty norm for us. We do some more than that. If it's technical, we can do a few less than that. But say 15 pages an hour, and 13 hours are ready to print.
That's fast.
Really
How do I know that this is going to be confidential?
Well, we're serious about confidentiality, and we have the same problems ourselves. What we do is we have all of our people sign a confidentiality agreement. That's a prerequisite. But what we also do is we keep all the information on disk. None of it is in the computer to be accessed by anyone else. Also, our facilities are there on site. That's a terrible way to say it.
Well, I don't know. You're there to supervise.
Right.
It's
Everything-
in-house.
Right. Everything is in-house, and I'm personally supervising all of the work, and that's something that I set up myself. I'm very, very concerned about the product that we give you. So if there are any questions or any problems, I'm there to answer them. But because it's on-site, it's totally controlled by us. No one can get in and see the information, and there's no way that it'll be exported out. No one's taking it on the train, as someone recently told me. And it's not in anyone's house, it's not open on anyone's desk, except in our facilities, which are very secure.
Okay, why should I use your firm rather than the other firms? I know you've told me that it's in-house.
Right.
So,
Well, it is in-house, but if you look at the product, it's wonderful. The product looks good. We can do it quickly for you. The people that we use are highly trained individuals. I've hand-chosen them. We have a wonderful team of about 5 full-time people. We also have a lot of them on call, but these people I hand-selected. They have been digesting for years. Let's take Sue. Sue has been digesting everywhere from Schulte and Roth to Rogers and Wells. The list is endless. She's done everything from technical to very easy accident type of depositions and court transcripts. Her speed is between 15 and 25 pages an hour. She knows what she's doing. Her style is versatile, so if you want it in bullets or if you want it in sentences, you've got it.
okay. Well, I want to ask you, let me interrupt you there and say, I noticed that you have some formats laid out here, but this isn't exactly what I wanted.
That's
Is that a problem?
absolutely fine. No, not only do we have a couple of standard ones, which we provided for your convenience if you feel that those would fit your needs, but it's very, very easy for us to change our format. All we do is just set up a separate screen, and the information is then exported into that
Well,
document.
you do that?
Will I personally do that? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then I want you to say it's nothing we.
Okay.
I will set up a format for you.
Okay. If you can give me an example of what your format looks like, I'll personally set it up for you.
Good.
It's no extra time, and if you want to have that format modified in any way, for example, if we send you the information and the digest in your format, and for whatever reason you want it different, let me know. The information is still there on the disk. I'll send it into a different format, and you'll have it in half an hour. It doesn't have to be retyped.
Great. And you oversee everything?
Not only do I oversee everything, I designed the system. I'm very proud of it.
Oh, good for you. Good. All right. It's like night and day.